We all know that tattoos are a form of self-expression, but did you know they can also help you recover from trauma? Author Donna Torrisi looks into the healing power of body art in her new book, Tattoo Monologues. Well, Donna, I have to say, this book speaks to me so much. It is so powerful, the power of these tattoos, the messages. But before we even get started, I have to ask, Donna, do you have any tattoos?
I do. In fact, I was on the news yesterday and I actually had to show my tattoo to all of Philadelphia. I don't think of it as dramatic in the way the women in this book, because it's not really about trauma. It's really about my childhood idol, which was Peter Pan. Aww. And I have Tinkerbell, his good buddy, who is willing to give her life for him on my ankle.
That's beautiful. I love that. Like you mentioned, this book is about kind of sharing the trauma with putting something on your body. How did your understanding, I should say, of how people use body art to process this trauma change after you wrote the book?
Well, that's a great question, because I really had no awareness of the connection of body art to trauma when I started this. I just became intrigued with tattoos about 18 years ago when my son, who was sleeping on the couch and his shirt sleeve sort of accidentally rolled up, and I saw what I wasn't supposed to see, and he was 17 and he had a tattoo on his shoulder and he had been hiding it from me. So I had to either join him or alienate him. So that was kind of a no-brainer. So I started thinking about tattoos and started asking my patients. I'm a nurse practitioner. Started asking my patients about their tattoos. And I pledged that someday I would do a story about women in tattoos. And then I thought, well, someday may never come. Let's just go for it. And I found this wonderful man, Ken Kaufman, who was interested in working with me on it. He's a photographer. And we interviewed our first few women, probably not accidentally. Their stories were very dramatic, so much so that we decided to focus on tattoos and trauma. And we thought that that really was a more interesting story than just tattoos in general.
And it's a powerful book, Donna. It is wonderful. It's beautiful. And you mentioned your son and seeing that tattoo that would seem taboo, but they're not as stigmatized as they used to be. Has that diminished the healing power at all of not having something that's shocking?
I don't think so. You were asking me what I've learned since doing this book, and I've learned several reasons why, how tattoos seem to help people. One of them is I have this mark on my body and it's showing, and you might ask me about it and I can tell you my story. And one of the ways we heal is by telling our story. Another way is by taking something back that we felt powerless about before, and now we feel powerful.
Yes.
And one of the stories, a woman was molested by a man whose last name was Wolf, and she tattooed the Pacific Northwest wolf on her skin. So, you know, we see many reasons why they are very, very powerful.
I could not agree with you more. I'm a survivor of childhood trauma myself, and I, being in front of the camera most of my career, you were always told, you can't get a tattoo. But when I lost my mom, that was when I decided I really wanted to get one. I haven't yet, but it's something that I think would help. Is there something unique about tattoos that help survivors?
I think there's one other thing that I didn't mention. Yes, there is. I had many women who had tremendous losses. And of course, we know the most unthinkable loss is the loss of a child. And I had several women in the book who had lost children either to an accident, or one woman had her children taken from her because she couldn't take care of them. And both of them had the tattoos on a visible part of their body. And, you know, they talked about being able to look at it and feel it and touch it, and how that made them feel more connected and present with the loved one who they had lost. Really three reasons that I learned that tattoos were helpful in the healing and redemption experience for women.
And my tattoos tells the story of where I came from. My tattoo comes over my chest, right here close to my heart. You know, because if nobody loves me, I love me. And that's all that matters.
What do you hope people take away from this book?
I think to decrease the stigma about tattoos is number one. And number two, to give the message to women and to men that they're not alone in their trauma and their suffering, because I think we all have trauma to some degree. Sometimes it's a continuum, sometimes it's small, and sometimes it's huge.
Yeah.
But none of us escapes, pain in our lives. And
Absolutely.
tattoos are just one way of telling our story. Healing happens in so many ways.
That's true.